Kevin Durant, age 34, has been playing amazingly well on the court, and 30-year-old Kyrie Irving, who was recently suspended for a controversial post, made a statement about him. What did Kyrie Irving say when asked about Durant's performance? This video will provide an answer to this, as well as take a dive into the world of the Brooklyn Nets before and after Irving's return from his suspension without pay. What did Kyrie Irving have to say about Kevin Durant's performance? Durant has 59 of 95, that is 62.1% shooting over his last 4 games, averaging 37.8 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists. The best way to play, according to Kevin Durant, is simply to play basketball casually. He said that sometimes when people want something too badly to succeed, they get in their own way, divert their attention, and they worry about the outcome too much. So, he tries to just concentrate on each possession's process. It was challenging to be knocked out of rhythm by the suspension, according to Kyrie, who said he spent endless hours honing his skill throughout the summer. But that's just a fact of life. Although readjusting has been challenging, he noted, his mentality has not changed. He aspires to increase his offensive effectiveness. While wrapping up his post-game press conference on Wednesday, James addressed the media and said that when he watches Kyrie talk, Kyrie says that he is aware of who he is, but he wants to maintain the same energy when they are having a discussion about his people and the things that they've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those instances that his people, black people, have experienced in America. And he thinks that as a black man, a black athlete, and someone with influence and a platform, when they do something bad or anything that the public doesn't like, it appears in every tabloid and news report and is listed at the bottom of the ticker. Every single day, people inquire about it. Kyrie Irving couldn't help but answer yes when asked if he ever finds himself admiring Kevin Durant following such a performance. Irving answered, saying, "Oh, absolutely, all the time." He believes it to be a normal response when witnessing something extraordinary take place right in front of you. Even though you try your best to stay focused, it's difficult to resist the urge to simply observe and admire someone so exceptional and gifted. Kyrie said that although they are aware of Durant's potential, it's an honor to witness him perform and that he was grateful to have him on the team. Regarding Durant's offensive effectiveness, Kyrie Irving remarked that there's nothing regular about what Durant does out there on the floor. He stated that such talent comes from God. However, we must certainly rejoice when it's demonstrated so effortlessly and effectively. Inside 2 ridiculous weeks with Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets. On October 27th, about 5 hours before the Brooklyn Nets were to play the Dallas Mavericks at home, Kyrie Irving sent a tweet. The post's only content was a textless Amazon link to a film about anti-Semitic stereotypes and Holocaust denial called Hebrews to Wake Up, Black America. The 12-year veteran quickly faced outrage and fallout after unintentionally drawing attention to the Brooklyn Nets and NBA in a scandal that went beyond sports. 2 days later, Irving refused to apologize or clarify whether he had any anti-Semitic views in front of the collected journalists. The team convened another news conference a week later, as the organization was under pressure from both internal and external sources. Like many inside the Nets organization and the league, the administration had hoped Irving once more declined to express regret or provide a clear response to the question of whether he was anti-Semitic. The organization announced in a release that Irving was now unsuitable to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets and that he would be suspended for at least 5 games without pay later that evening. After the suspension was officially announced, Irving eventually offered an apology in a post on Instagram. Let's have a look at his return. 2 weeks that have not happened in the recent history of the league. Firstly, on November 15th, Sacramento Golden One Center. 5 days before Irving was scheduled to join the Nets again and 13 days into his suspension. The Nets had recently conceded a season-high 153 points against a youthful Sacramento Kings club, on top of the uncertainty surrounding Irving and the changes still being made under new coach Jacques Vaughn. Players from the Nets stealthily dress in the visitors' locker room following the embarrassing performance to prepare for a team meal at a nearby Chinese restaurant. Any euphoria generated by Brooklyn's victory over the LA Clippers a few days ago had vanished. The Nets have lost 2 straight games, the first against a 2-10 Los Angeles Lakers club without LeBron James, and the second to a Kings squad that had a 33.5 win over-under record at the start of the season in Las Vegas. The void left by Irving permeates everything and everyone. Next, November 17th at Portland, Oregon, Moda Center. 3 days before his return and 15 days after his ban, the Nets are in Portland, Oregon, where there's a notably better atmosphere. A day after ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Irving's return would probably occur in Sunday's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Nets star forward Kevin Durant talks about his teammates' impending comeback, stating the squad would receive a much-needed boost as players and coaches finish their morning exercise inside the arena. A few hours later, Chauncey Billups, coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, presents his viewpoint on the Irving debate, which is one that is widely held throughout the league. Some hours later, the Nets, driven by Durant and again another outstanding performance by Simmons, secured their most impressive victory of the early season. Next is on November 20th at the HSS training facility, New York, the morning of his return after his suspension had been in effect for 18 days. There is nothing normal about the Nets' morning shoot-around. Despite being categorized as questionable, Irving is still expected to play later that evening. Press representatives are led to a conference room as soon as they enter the team's practice facility, where Irving will likely speak about his ban. For the first time ever on TV, Irving claimed he is not anti-Semitic in an interview with SNY the day prior. He also expressed his deep regret for the harm his social media uploads had caused. With each passing second, the tension in the room increases. Irving enters the room, followed by a number of significant visitors, including Shatelia Riley-Irving and Tamika Tremeglio. Sean Marks, general manager of the Nets, keeps a wary eye on things from the back of the room. Over 13 minutes passed during Irving's speech. A little while later, the Nets gave him official permission to play that night against Memphis. Next is on November 20th at Barclays Center, New York. Irving scored 14 points in his first game back in the arena as the Wizards defeated the Grizzlies 127-115. Irving is back at the podium after the game. Several Nets employees observe with expectation and fear. These haven't gone well the last couple of times. However, Irving does not want to talk about the circumstances surrounding his comeback and instead states that he never had a doubt that he would be back with his team. A tense Nets PR representative concludes the news conference after just over 4 minutes. Many people working for the company watch as Irving's first day back at work finishes without any additional self-inflicted havoc. These people have witnessed the damage his posts and subsequent actions made and have been tasked with damage management. November 22nd comes next at Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia. The return of Simmons to the court in Philadelphia is arguably the most anticipated game of the year and has been in the works for more than a year. Additionally, it marks Irving's return to the road following his ban. Simmons comes close to a triple-double on the court with 11 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. But the starless Sixers hold off the Nets as they fall to them 115-106. A short while later, Irving approaches the podium, appearing unfazed by the disappointing defeat. He says he is a free man just before taking a seat at the lectern and describing the team's lack of attention to detail. Next is November 23rd at Scotiabank Arena, Toronto. Irving returns to Toronto for the first time in over 3 years, and the supporters make sure he knows it from the moment he enters the starting lineup for the Nets. As the Nets defeat an undermanned Raptor squad playing with 10 healthy players, Irving doesn't seem to be bothered by the jeers as he scores 29 points in 28 minutes. Lastly, on November 25th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis. 19 games into this troubled season, which has already seen a players-only meeting before Halloween, a coaching change, persistent ailments, and subpar play from Simmons and Irving endorsing anti-Semitic movies. The Nets are in Indiana to play the Pacers. The game presents a metaphor, as has been tradition. The Nets jump to a double-digit lead in the first half, before losing by 11 to a Pacers team that is considering dealing 2 of its players. After the team's 10th away game of the month, the locker room is quiet as staff members pack up. The night's most frank appraisal comes from Irving as he talks about the team's upcoming 7-game homestand. We have now come to the end of the video. What do you think about the issue that led to Irving's suspension? What else would you like us to discuss on the channel? Inform us in the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.